Okay, everyone, we are live with Asterisk Live, and I'm Julie Webb, and today on Asterisk Live we are going to be talking to Ashley Sanders, and we're going to focus on women in engineering. With me today is Pete Engler. He is our Asterisk marketing manager as well as our channel manager, so he wears a couple of hats here at Digium. And then my other co-host is the lovely David Duffett, and I always feel compelled to try to use an English accent with him, but I will refrain today.
It'd be like Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. And then our guest, like I said, is Ashley Sanders. She's a senior software engineer with our software group. So we're really excited to have Ashley here today.
Hi.
Love the helmet, Ashley.
My son donated that to the cause today.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. I need one of those. All right, Pete, you want to start us off with the questions?
Yeah. So welcome, Ashley. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been at Digium, and how you became interested in engineering, and what your path was to get you here to Digium.
Which one of those do you want me to answer first?
Well, how long have you been here?
6 months.
Okay. So how did you get interested in engineering, and what have you done before you came to Digium?
Well, actually, I stumbled into engineering as an accident. One summer, it was 1999, my friend Becky and I were playing on AOL, chatting with people, and I was actually a mass communications major at the time, and we broke her computer. And some of our friends came over and fixed it, and, you know, I said, I want to do what they're doing. Like, I want to do that. And it wasn't until maybe that September or August when the recruiter from Alabama called and said, well, what do you want your major to be? And I said, anything with computers. I was naive. I didn't know. It was kind of a broad topic. She says, well, you can take either the software or the hardware route. And I said, well, I want to do the thing with the operating system. So that's how I ended up in software engineering. I was not primed to be a computer anything. I didn't even own a computer until I was 21.
Wow.
Actually, I'd like to say hello to you because we haven't met before, so it's lovely to see you. How did you move then from operating systems to communication systems?
Well, so I worked a variety of different industries. I have learned that really being a software engineer means that you become a master of many domains. So I worked with some GIS folks and aerospace for the Army. I did some flight planning software for the special ops, actually. And then our project was dismantled on the Arsenal, and I just happened to come across an advertisement for a job, software engineering job for Asterisk, and responded, and the rest is history, I guess. It was either I was really fortunate that came across because I had a few other options that were going back into the machine of the military. So this is actually really cool.
How have you found things since you got involved?
Hard. Asterisk is hard. It's big. It's 20 years old, I suppose, or right at 20 years, 1999-ish. So, hey, about the time I decided I wanted to be into computers. I like it a lot. I love that every day is a challenge. It's not boring. We are always pushing the envelope. I like that. I like the people. I love Matt. Matt's awesome. Hi, Matt.
That would be Matt Jordan for those of you who aren't familiar with the software engineering team. Matt Jordan is a super nice guy.
He is a great guy.
Exceptionally intelligent guy.
Wow, we're like the Matt Jordan fan club here.
Yes. Woo.
Ashley, where'd you go to college?
I went to the University of Alabama, Roll Tide, and I graduated in 2005.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I had to pretty much start right back over from square one because, as you can imagine, nothing from mass communications transfers over into engineering. So, yep, English.
So is this your first, when you came to Digium, is that your first really introduction to Asterisk?
Well, actually, I had done some research prior to speaking to Matt because I did not want to sound like, uneducated person. So I did everything I could. In fact, our very first conversation, sort of diverged into Node and then some Jimmy John's Make Me a Sandwich app thing that he tweeted about. Yeah, he's just a really, he has a way of just building a conversation from just kind of getting to know you. It was awesome. That's basically the first time I ever knew about Asterisk. In fact, wait, here's an interesting fact for you guys. I actually worked in the building across the street from here and watched Digium being built.
Wow.
Yes. I used to pass by every day.
That's pretty cool.
It was
that was 2007-ish, I guess.
Yep. That would be right. So, David, what were you saying?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking back to that time about when the building was opened at Digium and we had the ribbon cutting ceremony there. That was awesome. It
was a lot of fun. A lot of folks from the community came to visit us for the opening.
Yeah, that's right. So, Ashley, now that you're actually in Digium and working on Asterisk, can you tell us which bit or bits you're fiddling around with?
Well, Matt has tried to kind of give me a broad assortment, I guess, of assignments so that I can get sort of indoctrinated in lots of different areas of it. Mostly the things I've been working on lately have been PJ-SIP relevant or in that area, but I've worked on the ARI stuff and seems like SIP, just regular chan SIP, I had a bug in that, and lots and lots and lots of tests. Guys, this is one thing I cannot emphasize enough out there. If you're trying to be an Asterisk developer, write tests. You have to write tests. Learn Python, write tests.
Now, there is a test suite, isn't there?
That's right.
And so you're encouraging people to write stuff to go into that kind of suite to help testing.
That's right.
Right, and while we're on the subject of messages to would-be or existing Asterisk developers, have you got anything else that you'd like to say in that domain?
Well, I guess the most difficult thing if you're trying to get into Asterisk and you had never been part of this before, is your environment. Getting it set up is going to be somewhat of the hardest part, and I would strongly recommend getting a virtual environment and doing it that way. I first did VirtualBox, and then I went to VMware just because I love VMware. But I actually, like Josh, work in a Windows environment and virtualize my dev. I see the cringe. I saw that. Yeah, it's just my hardware works better. It cooperates better with Windows, the drivers and whatnot. So. Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, actually from a training point of view, because I get involved in Asterisk training, when I deliver it around the world, the last thing I want to hear from people is, we just bought some brand new computers for you to do the training on, because then I think, drivers.
Drivers, that's right. That was, my gosh, it was my video driver, it was the network driver, it was just everything. So I said, you know what, I went to IT and said, could you please put the Windows back on here, the operating system back on here, and I will just virtualize. And it kind of works out better because if you think about it, you can make tons of mistakes in a VM and always revert, and you didn't really mess up anything about your environment. So.
Yeah, and did you say it's a VMware VM inside Windows?
Mm-hmm, I do.
Right.
And I actually have my DCAP. I passed my DCAP.
Woohoo! Congratulations!
Yep, I did. Actually, David, I did pretty well on the DCAPs.
That's excellent news. And although the number of ladies is small, there is a number of ladies who have the DCAP. Obviously, there's Melissa, but there's also a lady, I'm struggling to remember her name now, but she did the training in South Africa, and she got the DCAP test as well. So there's a number of you ladies in the DCAP pool, which is great.
Yep. And, Matt, I think, had mentioned that I might be only the third lady that's ever contributed to the Asterisk project. So, hey, ladies, come on. Right now I have my own private bathroom. Come on.
You're putting out the challenge for the other females to step up. I love it. So, Ashley, when you were younger, were you interested? I mean, what kind of top subjects in school were you interested in?
Well, I really at first thought I was going to be a school teacher, and I know that sounds, wow, but how'd you come from that to that? Well, it just seemed like the school teachers got their summers off, and they got to go in the teachers' lounge, and they got to drink soda. I don't know, that seemed really, interesting to me, and my grandmother was a teacher, so I went down that path until I was probably middle school age and changed my mind. I thought I was going to be a rocket scientist because out of the 8th grade class, mine was one of the few rockets that did not blow up for our science project.
Congratulations.
I kept that rocket on my wall for a long time, but I realized math is so hard, and I didn't want to have to go through all the math. So I'm really good with words, so I thought anything with wordsmithing would be awesome. That's why I kind of diverged into mass communications. However, when I chose computer science, you know what? They do the same amount of math as the aerospace people. We all get minors. I have a minor in math, so there you go.
Right. Now, I think people will have told you a little bit about Astrakhan, Ashley. Is that right?
Excuse me, what?
Has anybody told you about Astrakhan, our annual get-together?
Right. Actually, you guys were going there the week after Matt Jordan and I had our first phone call together regarding this position. So I've heard about it. I've seen it on YouTube, actually, a presentation, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would be awesome is to have more ladies presenting at Astrakhan. We have had some contributions, but they're in the small minority.
Right.
So maybe you can think about something you'd like to let the community know at Astrakhan in Orlando this year. That would be cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool. Have to think of some way to bring. Hey, come on, girls.
Yeah, well, like you've mentioned, PJSIP and ARI is all useful stuff.
Is awesome. I like the idea that we can use the REST interface to interact with the Asterisk stack. That's really cool, actually. Node is cool. Any Node developers, come on. We've got some Node samples on our GitHub account. I'm the little crazy Batman penguin tux guy.
Yeah, and actually I can drop in a quick plug here for a session that we've already got booked into Astrakhan, which is young Dan Jenkins talking about building 21st century call center apps on Node.js and ARI.
Mm-hmm.
So Ashley, you've mentioned getting more females involved in the project. What advice would you have for them?
Don't be afraid. I mean, it's hard, but you can do it. It's not any harder than anything else, and it's actually cool. I think the greater the challenge, the greater the reward. I'm kind of making a spin off of an old adage, but it's you really, when you solve a problem in Asterisk, you've solved a problem. So this is actually a fun place. These people are energetic, and I don't know, just if you want to be a part of a really good open source community, this would be it.
That was actually, you just touched on the last question I had to ask, and that was how have you been treated since you came in to the Asterisk project by both Digium staff and other community members?
Well, so this place is really cool. I came from a completely different environment. I worked most of my career as a contractor, defense contractor for the United States Army, and as you can imagine, it's a little sort of biased towards the fellows. I actually made a lot of good friends, though, so I was fortunate in that even if I experienced any sort of slights in that regard, they were totally eclipsed by all the cool people I met. But trust me, they're not like that here. There's no slights. Like, it's just, I don't think anyone sees the gender. We're just on a meritocracy. If you've got the merit, then come on.
Great.
It's an awesome answer.
Asha, what do you like to do outside of the office for fun?
Well, I have 2 kids. I had my first kid when I was a senior in college. He is now 10 years old, almost 11, and I have a 1.5-year-old daughter. And so most of the time, if I'm not having a, oh crap, that's right, that's how you do it moment, I'm chasing a kid. So I do a lot of that, and we own a company. So outside of this, my husband does. So I have, we have that to deal with too. Fun is sort of putting off. I'm putting that deep down in the queue for a while. Yeah.
Kids do have an impact on hobbies, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think it's fun. It's just I had to redefine my terms. It's fun for me to chase my kids. So. Yeah.
Well, Ashley, is there anything else that you think we should share with our viewers?
Read the definitive guide if you want to get started. Get a VM. I'm going to put on my personal space some of my tips and tricks on how I set up my environment. I've been keeping really good notes, and I'll have that up there soon. So if you have any questions, you can find me on #dev or #, or you can, shoot an email.
And where will your personal space be viewable, Ashley?
It's on the wiki.asterisk.org. It'll be, I've got a page on that, so
Great.
That's where everything will be.
Perfect. Well, this has been a lot of fun, and we hope to see you and everyone who's watching Asterisk Live at Astrakhan. That'll be taking place in Florida, in Orlando, Florida, the 13th, 14th, and 15th of October. It should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of good content, thanks to David Duffett and others in the community. So if you really want to learn some more about Astrakhan or Asterisk Project and meet some of the key folks like Ashley and Matt Jordan and Joshua Culp, some folks that we've mentioned here today, then please be sure to be there. So Pete, any final words?
No, I think we've covered it all.
And how about you, Mr. Duffett?
Well, I just want to, this is the first time I've met Ashley, so I just want to personally welcome you to the community. It's great to have you along, and really looking forward to working with you as we move forward.
Thank you. Me too. Thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone, and we will see you for the next episode of Asterisk Live. Take care.
Bye.